I came out my balcony to do this, and I forgot some papers, so I had to go back and get the papers. Oh my! Well, when do we have anybody up today? It's a nice Sunday. I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm out on my balcony, which is right downtown in a place called Adams Morgan. Now, it's sort of like the bohemian place of Washington, D.C. Yeah, and it's cool. And it's a little gritty, which is nice and authentic and fun to be at. And I could walk to 30, 40 restaurants within about 2-3 blocks. And I don't even need a car to go most places. I got a mile walk to the White House, and then actually it's about 2 miles, maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles. I walked to the White House, and then my regular walk was to be from where I live to go to the Lincoln Memorial, and that's 3 miles one way. So it was always a nice 6-mile run for me to run down to the Lincoln Memorial and back. But I don't run anymore, I walk, and it takes too long to walk 6 miles. It's like a half a day or something. So I go about a quarter mile from here, I go to a gym and go on the ellipse and stuff like that to get some cardio stuff going, because that's what keeps me going. It's losing weight. And losing weight to me, I was a fat kid, so I always worked on, my weight was always an issue. And it still is until I die. I'm 82 years old and still fighting that that tapeworm I live with that wants to just eat sweets. And I found out exercise is really the best way for me at least to control it. I think we all have to find our own ways to do that. And growing up in the 50s and something, health food was just food. It didn't matter. Food was health food, any kind of food, and that's how we lived. And gosh, I wasn't able to control that until I started exercising. So I still do that, and now I find exercising is actually good for my mental condition. I mean, that's a therapy more than anything. Out there, if I'm listening to something or whatever, it's getting away from all the noise and everything, and to think about other stuff. And so I think it also saves me psychiatrist bills or whatever. I mean, now we spend so much money. I mean, mental health is one of the biggest problems in our country. And if you need any kind of mental health, there's a hotline, don't forget, a free hotline to hook you up with any kind of local organizations that provide free mental health. I think it's 988. Let me put that in to make sure. 888, yeah, crisis hotline, 988. Yeah, it's called a lifeline. Okay, so that's 988. You can call it 988, and I've done this for friends to find them local organizations that give you free mental health. Now, I think what the White House did was cut out people with gender issues and things like that, and they're not giving help for that. But I think you just don't say it's a gender issue. It's just, it's your issue, whatever gender you are, in the middle of a gender transfer, any of that. Just ignore talking about that, and that you have a mental problem, and you need help to do that. You can call 988 and ask, because stuff that's coming out of the White House doesn't mean everybody really complies with that. Everybody finds who don't believe in it. They find other ways to get around that and things like that. So you have to be aware when somebody says this is now the law. People don't follow the law. People don't follow jaywalking laws. People don't follow speeding laws. So you need help. You need help, and it's more important now, I think, than ever before, because more and more people are going to be needing help, and that's because what they're doing is the administration is cutting out grants for the needy. And to me, they're giving it to the greedy. And I mean, that's a biased opinion. You could say that they're cutting grants for the needy because of waste, fraud, and abuse, but there's very little. There's more waste, fraud, and abuse in the IRS that they don't stop. The IRS, if you cut out the waste, fraud, and abuse there for people paying their taxes, that's up to $1 trillion every year. But they're doing nothing. They're firing people in the IRS so they don't collect people's taxes that they owe. Now that's what waste, fraud, and abuse. that nobody talks about, because that's mostly rich people. So that's right. We're giving lots to the rich people. Now here, this is the what I've been showing around. This just shows you how in the new, big, beautiful debt that the government's doing now from the White House, they're taking $1 trillion away from health care for people, $1 trillion, and giving it to billionaires. The top 1% is going to get an extra $1 trillion, and the bottom 10% or 30% is going to get less, going to get $1 trillion less in medical care. So we're taking $1 trillion less in medical care for the bottom 30% of our, bottom 25% of it, and giving it to the top 1%. So, I mean, that sounds just the data. You don't believe it? That's fine. It's just data. It's not politics, but maybe my mission behind it could be political, of course, because they're hurting poor people. I mean, anybody who hurts people who can't defend themselves is terrible, and you can't. Why get further in debt? And see, debt is another thing. Oh, here's another piece of. They're going to cut out money for food, SNAP. Okay, they want to take $180 billion to 200 and some billion dollars. So roughly $200 billion or more out of SNAP every year. Okay, that's money for people who can't afford food. Okay, and that includes 30 million more. Yeah, 15% of the population is in poverty. So that's like 30 million people. And that's also 30 million people working poor. This is poor people that are working, not just poor, because they're waste, fraud, and abuse. No, these people who are getting SNAP, 30%, I forget what the percentage is, but a large percent of those are working. That's why they say, oh, we're going to cut out waste, fraud, and abuse. But no, it's not. They're cutting people who really need this stuff. And you know it. I mean, there's an article today I've been reading about that this is in Massachusetts, I think, Massachusetts. This food pantry is now getting 5,000 people a month. Before COVID, it was only 1,000 people a month. So since the COVID, they increased from 1,000 people a month having to go to this food pantry to 5,000 people a month. Wow. And that's amazing. And they say that 50,000 people now suffer from food insecurity. So 50,000 people do not have enough food. And how can we let 50,000 people not have enough food and give $1 trillion to millionaires and billionaires? I mean, I don't know where that ethics goes. I'm not a theologian or a philosopher or anything. I'm just a struggling schmuck trying to make a living myself. But what we do with the government wealth and debt too. I mean, we encourage people to borrow money, and what's happening? See, when the government borrows money, okay, so now they have to come up with an extra $1 trillion to give to the rich people. Okay, so the top 1% are going to get an extra $1 trillion from the government. Okay, now, and we're going to go in debt over $3 trillion because we're giving $1 trillion to the millionaires. Now, what happens when the government gives money away and can't pay their expenses, what they do with the government debt is borrow the money. So they borrow a government bond. Okay, the government is able to borrow money because we're still a pretty stable economy, and everybody will lend us money because the government has a good record of paying you back. If you invest in the stock market or real estate, you never know what's going on. But if you borrow money, if you lend money to the government when the government needs to pay rich people the money they promised them, then what happens is the government has to pay interest on the money. Now that interest on the money is going up to $1 trillion a year. Okay, that's what it's going to look like, $1 trillion. So we have a $6 trillion budget, I mean, $6 trillion government, and $1 trillion of that is going to pay interest on the money that the government borrowed. Now, who's going to get that interest money? Certainly not the poor people. So here's another way that the government gives money to the rich people. They borrow money from the rich people and pay them with interest from taxes that the rest of us pay. So that means the average person has to pay money to pay the taxes, to pay the interest that the government has to pay to borrow money to pay to give the money to the millionaires. You get it yet? So the government says, okay, we're going to give millionaires $1 billion. Okay, government doesn't have $1 billion. They're in debt up to our ass. Okay, so the government goes out and borrows $1 billion. Who's going to lend money to the government to pay the $1 billion? The millionaires, because they know lending money to the government is the safest thing they could do with their money. Go in the stock market, who the hell knows? Go into real estate, who the hell knows? But the reason it's easy for the government to borrow because they always pay their bills, okay? So that's why rich people could make sure they're gonna earn money on their money by lending it to the government. So if you're a billionaire, you're getting an extra billion from the government. So you got this $1 billion, or $1 trillion, I mean, you get an extra T as in Trump, T as in Trump, $1 trillion. So you get an extra $1 trillion from the government, and then the government has no money, you have to pay all their bills, and so the government goes out to the market and borrows $1 trillion to pay their expenses. Okay, who they borrowed from? They borrowed from the same people that they gave the money to. So now, if you're getting an extra $1 trillion as a fat cat, you could lend it. The safest thing for you to do that money is lend it to the government, because the government will pay you. And they'll pay a nice interest rate that you can get better. You can't get better anywhere else because it's the safest in the world too. They don't have to worry about it. So that's another way that the government is helping the rich people, not poor people. So the rich people are getting paid twice. They're getting $1 trillion in money in the package from the Trump, and then they lend money to the government because the government has no more money to pay them. So they lend money. The rich people lend money from the government so they could get paid from. Isn't this terrible? And it's crazy. What a circle. But you know who's getting it and you know who's not. You know, the rich are getting it two ways. They get the money from the government, then they lend the money back to the government, and the government pays them interest that the rest of us pay for. So not only do the rest of us that own the government, see, we all own the government. So all of us are chipping in to make the government run. So we're chipping in to pay money to billionaires, okay, and millionaires, and that's $1 trillion. Then the millionaire and billionaires get $1 trillion. They lend it back to the government because the government has no money to pay them. So they lend it back, and then they make interest that the government will pay for our taxes. So our taxes now have to pay an interest on that $1 trillion, you know, and that goes who? To rich. So they're getting paid twice. Now that's convoluted, but it looks right to me. So what you have to do is work a little harder to try to make it, because there's now some more stumbling blocks in our country that are going to make it a little harder for you to get the help you need. The help is out there. It's just going to be different. It's going to be other places than you think. And if you haven't done it before, it's certainly going to be different than you ever thought. Because not only is it different from than you thought originally, but when now, as of now, with all the Trump stuff, it's a little different again. So that's why there's going to be more roadblocks. So what you have to be prepared for are roadblocks and stumbling blocks. And that's what LeskoHelp.com is about. Oh, and by the way, we have a grant that ends tonight. We have a grant that ends tonight, and we're giving out $15,000. $15,000 to members. So if you're not a member, you can go to LeskoHelp.com, and it costs $20 a month. And you go there, sign up, and you can apply today, because the deadline is tonight. Tonight is the deadline to apply for our rent grant. So we have $15,000 in rent grant money that we're giving out just to members. So you could apply for that as a member. Then the next rent grant, this is the 20th, so on the 30th we're giving out 30 laptop computers. Then on the 4th we give out $20,000 so you could spend on anything. And then on the 15th, I think we have $10,000 for you to spend on car repair. So we have 4 grants every month, and that's for members. So LeskoHelp.com. And if you got it backwards, this is the backwards thing, LeskoHelp.com, okay? And that's it. I need to go apply borderline hanging on by a thread. Okay, Chris, you're a member, right? Yeah, okay, so you're a member. You want to get over to, on the member section, on the left-hand side, there's a table of content. So if you look on the left-hand side of our website, which is the website LeskoHelp2.co, but you have to be a member to be on it. So if you go there and go on the left-hand side, and you will see a link there that says unlock my goals, or unlock your goals, okay? And under unlock your goals is pay my debt and bills. So you click on that. It says pay my debt and bills. And then you have a step-by-step what to do. And the first thing you have to do is call and make an appointment with a free financial counselor. You have to do that. You have to call to get money. And that's one of the different things you have to learn to do. It's going to get a little more difficult to get the help you want, but it's there. But you have to try a little harder on your side to make sure you get it. There's no guarantee for anything. I just guarantee that the programs are real. I guarantee that this year the government's going to give out over $4 to $5 trillion of money to individuals to help with their living expenses and to do the things they always wanted to do in life. All those are real. Also, what's real is there's over 750,000 programs that do that. But you can't use Google to find out about this thing. Remember, you cannot use Google to find out about these things. You have to use the system, and the system is not Google. Google is there to get your money. I want to only show you people that give you money. So that is the only thing I'm showing people, is how to get money for free from solve your financial problems. And right now, more people are going to have financial problems. Inflation is certainly not going down, it's going up. So that's what takes away your money. Because what has happened in the last 50 years is the average person's income, not the average, 90% of all of us who get a paycheck has increased only 30% in the last 45 to 50 years. So your income went up only 30%, but inflation went up 300%. So by just borrowing money or whatever to make up the difference, you can't do that. You're just going to get in trouble, and you're giving more money to the rich people if you borrow money, because they charge outlandish interest rates, and people with a lot of money and don't know what to do, they'd rather give it to you, lend it to you, and just bleed you to death if you don't ever pay it back, okay? That's why you have to look for government programs that never bleed you to death. Even though you owe them money, there's always a way around it to not pay, and forgiveness and things like that. It's the nicest place to get money from, and most of it's free. There's $4 trillion that's free. So it's crazy to go to to a bank to get money when they're going to take your first child if you don't pay them back on time. And the government never does that. There's always ways to get around all that stuff. And that's what's nice about a democracy, as long as we got it. So make sure you learn this system, because you're not going to get the help you think you need from Google. Google is only help you if you have money to give somebody else to solve your problem. And if you have money, then fine, you do that. But if you don't have money, and I believe that's probably 50 to 60% of our people in America do not have extra money to pay to get out of financial trouble. That's why if you're a member, you go to that unlock your goals that I just told you about, and click on debt and bills, and that will tell you who to call locally. Okay, so if you're not a member, you could also go to findhelp.org, .org. It's the ORGs and the GOVs, government and ORG, nonprofit. They're the people that give you money for free. Please, please only use them. You don't stand a chance with .coms. They're too good at getting money from you when you don't have it. And they will make it sound like they're the only person in the world, and it's only good for them. See, they're not showing you the best thing that's best for you, because they don't. They're paid to convince you that whatever they have is the best for you. So they're showing you actually what's good for them, not what's best for you. So this is just best for them. So that's why you have to stay away from the .com there too. Maybe there's good people in there, God bless them. But in general, there won't be. So you can't take a risk because they're too good at selling. So you have to stay away. If you're a drunk, you don't go into a bar and just have a sandwich, right? You can't be that close to all this alcohol. So that's it's the same with Google. You can't go there because there's too much temptation, right? And they'll make it real hard for you. And that's what, in the Unlock Your Goals, we also have one for starting a business. We have one for getting out of medical debt or paying your medical bills. We have one for starting a nonprofit. We have, what are the other ones? Let's see. Navigators and hosts. Okay, I know we have some other. Well, home. Yeah, that's very important. So home, and that's very important. Buying a home, paying rent, all that kind of stuff. So that's why we have this grant that we're giving out, $15,000 to help people pay rent. The deadline is tonight, and that's for members. So if you want to be a member, apply to our deadline, which that's LeskoHelp.com. That's tonight. LeskoHelp.com. And if you go there and you could apply to our housing grant, which is, let's see, this is the 20th. This is now, right? So the 20th, tonight. Tonight is the rent and housing grant, right? So the deadline for that is tonight. Okay, so tonight, by midnight tonight, you got to find out the housing grant, okay? And that's what you got to do. But be careful. It's going to get tougher out there. Inflation is start going up. Unemployment is start going up. The government has cut people to help you tell you about government programs. They're not cutting out the amount of money so much to give you in the programs. They're cutting out the people who tell you about the programs. So it's going to be harder to find the programs. So that's why LeskoHelp.com is the only place in America that will help you apply to every government program that's out there. Say that again. We're the only place in America that will help you apply to every government program you're eligible for. This has been my mission for my entire career of 53 years now, I think, 52, 53 years, at LeskoHelp.com. And I think the government should be doing this, not me. So the government should be doing this, and they're not. So I have to do it. I've been waiting 50 years, and I started this about 2 years ago, and we already have 15,000 members that help each other take advantage of government grants. That's right, 15,000 members that help each other take advantage of government grants. Man, where else are you going to get that? I mean, that's incredible to me. But I'm biased, so don't trust me. I'm a salesman too, so you have to be careful. And that's why, if anything you get from me, if you feel screwed, we'll give you the money back. Benny knows that. Chris, do you know that? But I saw you online. I have a list of people to call tomorrow morning. Great, Chris. Call. And whatever you do when you call, you ask them for help. You don't say you need money. You say you need help. And if they say we can't help you, then ask them for sources. This is the most important thing when you're looking for help and people cannot help you. Because they're in the business of helping people like you, they've been doing this probably for years, maybe as much as 20 years. They know other organizations that do this, okay? And if they say no, there's no such thing, You can't believe that either. Uh, oh, I think, what did I do? I think maybe I could get this going again. Hold on. Okay, I'm back, but I think I lost the members. My battery ran out. Thought I had enough to come out in the porch and help members, but my battery ran out. I can't help because so I gotta get that working again. But again, it's all on the phone. If you need help, you have to go on the phone. There's no shortcut to that. Okay, you have to talk to people on the phone to find out what's available for you. You know what it may be? It may be too hot out here. And the computer, you know, when it gets too hot, it shuts itself off. And I wonder if that's going on. I wonder if that's going on. Let me try something, okay? Oh. Yeah. I think that's what's going on. My computer is too hot. The sun is it's like 90 degrees out here, so I forgot about that. So we're gonna keep going and stay with me, please, baby, please. Please, baby, please. Yeah, we have to. Okay, yeah, I have. Wendy, 70. Okay. Yeah, okay, let me get some light in here. Okay, well, hold on. See my messy bedroom. Actually, that's a bed that goes up. You know, it's a, what do you call those beds? Because we live in a small apartment. My wife's going to kill me for showing this. But that's us. And that's you. And I want to get back to you, please. Oh, maybe we got 28 there. Maybe you're still there. You're a speaker. Yes. See if that works. Oh, okay. That's in some lines. Okay. That's probably good enough for now. Okay. But more importantly, you know, don't forget, if you're a member, oops. I forgot. Yeah, it's a little dark here, but maybe we put up with that, okay? There you go, okay. He's live on YouTube and trying to fix the connection right now. Yeah, lost video and sound, is it over? No, I'm not over yet. I figure I have about 10 more years. So let me help you for about 10 more years, please, please. I can't change the chat. Maybe I can. I don't know if I could change the source. I can't, no. Oh, well, okay. I'm gonna have a little dark source. The source be with you. That's what you have to do. The sources are out there to help you for anything you want. Scam, scam, scam. That's okay. You don't have to use this. Don't use it. If you have a better place to get money, you're right. I think the only people who have a case against me being a scam is that they didn't get money, okay? I cannot promise anybody that get money. I can only promise that the programs I tell you are free. The programs do give out money, and there's 750,000 of them. I cannot guarantee that you will get the money. You have to figure that out with them. It's like a job. I can tell you where all the jobs are. Whether you get one or not, it's up to you. So if people don't get one, I'm sorry. I'll send your money back if you want, if you thought you could get one. But I don't promise anybody, though, they'll get one. No one can. If anybody on the internet promises you to get a grant, it's a scam. I do not promise you get a grant. But I do promise you that everything is out there. And what's even more important than the money is the professional help you could get. Like professional help for health care or getting free prescription drugs. There are nonprofit organizations. I promise that Lesko will get 300. No, I never promised that. well, Elon Musk gets $6 million a month from the government. Elon Musk gets $6 million every day from the government. Elon Musk gets over $6 million every day from the government. Every fat cat in this world gets government money. The guy who owns Amazon, he got $1 billion to train his employees. $1 billion to train employees. You too, you're running a small business, you could get $100,000 to train your employees. But you don't know because you don't apply for it. So you don't know about it, and that's what I do. You're a fat cat. Well, great. You could get it too. This is how I learned about these programs. I helped rich people. And I wanted to stop that and help the average person because the average person needs it. We have 17% of our entire population is in poverty. Now that is a sin. Why are we the richest nation in the world and has the highest rate of poverty than any other developed nation, any other developed country in the world? A couple of years back, I got help for the electric drill in a couple of months while in Arizona. I want to give away, believe they came. I want to, say, thanks you, Chris. Yeah, it's really plenty more years for sure. You are doing it. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I mean, I should not be doing this. The government should be doing this. This is your government. These are your programs. They're not mine. They belong to you. And the rich people know that. That's why they're all over this town like stink on shit, government, so they can get more money. And this administration has given it. Why are we giving millionaires an extra $1 trillion? That is absurd. And why are we, giving people? Why are we cutting $200 million, or is it billion? Now, God, I forget all the time. Billion, million. What's the difference? In Washington, we don't know. Billion, okay, $200 billion. They're and they're, to enforce undocumented immigrants. Okay, we have like 10 million undocumented immigrants. They've been here for hundreds of years. They've been there. They've been starting businesses. They've been paying taxes. They've been doing all this stuff. And now these people with masks on are taking them up, picking them up off the street and putting them on airplanes and sending them to some jail and halfway across the world. And we're going to spend, listen to this, $200 million on that. Oh, I'm sorry. I get all these things. Okay, where is it? $100 billion. So $100 billion to extra. This is extra money that's now going to go into the, they're going to start spending to take undocumented immigrants. And you probably know people that are undocumented. It's the parents of children that were born here and everything. They maybe never got documented. Remember the DACA people? They're all parents of undocumented people, okay? And they're going to lose their father, their mother, their whatever it is. There's millions and millions of them, and they're going to spend $100 billion picking them up, putting them on an airplane, and sending them somewhere. Wow. This sounds like a nightmare movie, but it's real, happening in the United States. And so we have $100 billion we're spending on that, and then cutting out $200 billion for people to have food to live on. I mean, and right now, most of the people that are on this, that are eligible to work, already are working. SNAP is really, most of the people are working. And there's 30 million people getting SNAP that already have jobs. So they're going to say, oh, you have to have jobs. The same thing Medicare. Most of the people already have jobs. You can't make it having a job in this country. You don't make enough money in this country to pay your expenses like food. You don't make enough money to pay your medical bills, because they're outrageous. We pay double in medical bills than any other country in the world. We pay double. Man, how do we get away with this? Crystal, oh, thank you. I was going to thank you for your never-ending giving kindness, even with the years of pushback. You are awfully nice of you. I just see something that has to be done. And if you see somebody on the street or whatever, and if you don't have money, just say hello. Recognize people. We don't recognize, there's so much hurt in our country. If 17% of us are in an official poverty, 17%, how can we do that? That's double what most developed countries have. We're number one. We're number one in creating poor people. That's right. We're not number one in creating IT jobs. We're not number one in doing anything anymore except creating poor people. And this is why are we so worried about immigrants when 70% of us can't even afford food? Wow. I mean, it's crazy, to underwrite, kidnapping on the streets. Why are we kidnapping people off the street and sending them out of the country? Wow. Why don't we get the real criminals? The people who have always been convicted of crimes and walk around free. Wow. It's sorry to get so upset about this, but it's the injustice and the cruelty. I mean, it's fine. We have to do things to get certainly a lot of things that should be done better, and there's no way to do it better than to changing some things. But you don't do better by hurting people on purpose. You don't do better by cutting out, literally. I mean, I live in Washington, D.C. I know people personally. Man, they've been working in these government agencies for 20 years, veterans and everything, and then they come into work one day, and noon they get an email that they have to leave and take everything by close of day today. So they got 3 hours to forget about 20 years of work that they contributed to our society. My pension in Australia is more than some towns in the U.S. income. Wow, good for you, Glenn. Right, I mean, we're just turning into a terrible society, I think, but we can stop it. There's always things we can change, but we can't put up with it. We have to let people know. Matthew, what can Americans do about reaching 65 without enough dough to get the maximum benefits and options? Well, I mean, that's what LeskoHelp is, but if you don't have me, and I charge $20 a month, okay? That's what it is. So, and you get unlimited help to apply to every program you're eligible for. That's what I do, okay? And I've been doing this for 50-some years, so I feel I know more about this than most anybody. But more importantly, we have 15,000 members, right? 15,000 members that are there to help you. That's the deal when you sign up. You're going to help other people get money too. When you learn how to do it, you help other people learn how to do it, so that we play it forward and have helping other people. And people love doing that because it makes them feel so good. You know what I mean? It makes them feel so good. $20 for your service sounds like capitalism, buddy. It is. I gotta pay my bills. That's what's great about capitalism. Yeah. I've lived in Toronto for a decade and Vancouver. I travel all over Canada 33. Canada isn't perfect, but it's better than the States and certainly better than most other places. You're absolutely right. Healthcare is better. I probably, the basic programs are probably better. Yeah, they worry about people. Here we're not. We're worrying about rich people. Not about if you're rich, we worry about you. If you're not rich, fuck you. And unfortunately, that's what we become. And we're going to have to change that to survive. We already now, I mean, we're not the best country in the world anymore. Yeah, we were. But in the last 10 years or so, we've been going downhill. And everybody has their day, and I think we've had ours. I mean, remember, if you're old enough to remember, Britain ruled the world, right? They were all over, and now they're just a pipsqueak, right? How about Athens? They ruled the world, and they're gone. We just shoot ourselves in the foot. And I think it's the greedy take over and forget about the needy. And you have to have that. And it's not a nice place to live right now because you're worried. Who knows? Somebody's going to come by and pick you up. How'd you ever have to worry about that in the United States? Worry about what you say? Worry about what you say to somebody who wants to be, who's gay? They have to worry about what they say, what they do. I mean, wow, what happened to freedom? I was in France going to a friend's wedding, and I'm thinking France is going to come back and take the Statue of Liberty back because in the Statue of Liberty, what it says, send us your tired, your people, the worst you have, we want them, okay? Yeah, you think that's true? They should take that Statue of Liberty back. We're not living up to that at all. We don't want you unless you have lots of money. And I think the White House came up with something like a golden passport. If you give them a lot of money, you could be that's terrible. I mean, look at the people who invented so much good stuff. I mean, Einstein was an immigrant. The people who invented the atom bomb was an immigrant. Why are we treating these people like dirt? It's terrible. $300 per month, per year. I don't make that much, but that's nice to know. No, we got a lot of freebies in there. It's 2028, emo America has never been grayer. You're right. Much love. Thank you, Dennis. Can you help me find a grant for home repairs in Oklahoma? I'm disabled. Yes, Charlotte. This should be not easy because you have to follow up. What people aren't used to is following up. There's a lot of help out there, but people aren't willing to make the phone calls to find the exact help that's for them. I'll show you right now. What is your zip code? If you tell me your zip code, I'll try you to, let's see, I'm looking for a pen. Maybe this will work. Okay, what's your zip code? What's your zip code, Oklahoma? 73030. Okay, 73030. So what I'm going to do is show you how. You don't have to give me $20. You could just go to findhelp.org, findhelp.org, findhelp.org. Okay, and remember, you only want to look at org or gov. Findhelp.org. Put in your zip code, 73030. Hit search. And then it comes up with a little, says put in a keyword or program name. I'm going to put in home repair. Oh, I misspelled repair. Home repair. Okay. What do we got? Bibbidi bobbidi. Okay, we're 75 organizations. 75. I can't put them in because I did this on another, it's on my phone I'm talking to you on, so I can't cut and paste that. But find, findhelp.org, findhelp.org. Put that in, and then put in your zip code, 73030, and you live somewhere else, put in your zip code, and then when that finishes coming up, it's going to ask you for a keyword, and you put in home repair. For the zip code you give me in Oklahoma, 75 organizations. See, a lot of people say, oh, there's one program, I want to find that one. No, there's not just one program for anything. There's 75 programs for just fixing up your home in the zip code in Oklahoma, 75 programs. So what you have to do, your job is to start calling every one of those programs to see which one is right for you. And you call them, you don't ask them for money. You call them up and say, hey, I need help with home repair. Can you help me? And they'll say yes or no or maybe or whatever. And then you take it from there. If they say no, then what you have to do is say, okay, if you can't help me, can you tell me where else I can go to get help? That's what you have to do. And if you're not willing to do that, you probably won't get the money. So that's what you have to do. So get in touch with yourself that you're gonna, as hard it seems to be, it was like hard for me, 50 years ago when I started doing this stuff, to call somebody out of the blue, to call the government out of the blue. Holy shit, you kidding me? And then when I started doing it, it was incredible how he could do it. A kid like me from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, schmuck who really got through college, able to do this. And I was helping millionaires do this. I was getting money for them to become billionaires. I said, why doesn't everybody know this? And that's what I concentrate on now, is just helping people who really need this, not helping millionaires. The millionaires have a lot of people that I'll get money from them to help. They'd pay me thousands and thousands of dollars to do what I'm doing for you now for free. And that's all I used to do. And I said, holy shit, anybody could do this. And you just have to know the system. So that's why LeskoHelp.com, that's what we do. We tell you the system and how to use it. And we're there 24/7. You can keep asking us questions every day. You can ask 100 questions a day if you want. And we have one-on-one help. Like right now, I think we got 4 or 5 hours every day of people that are live. They're live on LeskoHelp.com that help you do it. These are members. We have 15,000 members that help each other. I had to start my own business when I moved to a small town because there was no work. So I get that too. Wonderful. And don't forget, there's help for starting any kind of business. If you're, go to this website, I'll give you, if you're a member, you just go to find, unlock your goals, and a tab on the left-hand side, and it says step-by-step of where to get help for any business. But here's where you want to go. I don't know how to put a chat here. Let's see, it has to be here. On my other one, I'm not sure. Where is it? Well, go to this website, Tiny, T-I-N-Y, and if somebody could write this in, would be great, okay? So other people could see this. You want to go to Tiny, T-I-N-Y, URL, okay? .com, Tiny, T-I-N-Y, URL.com /Lesko, L-E-S-K-O, local, L-O-C-A-L, business, B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S. So if somebody will write this in the chat to help other people, be great. Tiny, T-I-N-Y, URL.com. Thank you, Crystal. Tiny, URL.com. Now on YouTube, somebody write this in, please. Tiny, URL.com /Lesko, L-E-S-K-O, local, L-O-C-A-L, business, B-U-S, don't trust me, B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S, okay? That will tell you how to get 50 to 100 organizations in your state that give you free money and help to start any kind of business. What you have to do is take that list, I show you how to generate one for your state, and you take that list and start calling every one of those organizations to see how they could help you. Some will not. You don't know, I don't know. The only way you're gonna know for sure is by calling. And when you call, number one, you don't ask for money, you ask for help. Number two, if they don't have help or money for you, you say, ask them where else would be a good place for you to check, okay? Hey man, you've been around forever. It looks like you farted on your, I don't know. I have been around forever. Good luck, you all. Time to walk. Oh, time to walk in the dog. I had to start my own business. Good for you. No, that's one way to do it. And it's so easy to start businesses now without any money. And if you want to just start businesses now in your home, you go to Indeed.com, INDEED.com. Okay, you go there and you put in your zip code, and you look for gigs, Gigs, or work at home. And there are people that will hire, is looking for contracts for you to work at home, to do all kinds of silly stuff that you could at least earn some money. It's all about earning money, okay? And you could do that easily nowadays. Egads, you've been around forever. Yes, I have. I'm 82, and I hope I'm about 10 more years. I'll overrun by 10 city. Yes, okay. Well, start finding income if you live in a small town. That's what you have to do. And that's what, to start a business. All these people help you start. There's so many things you could sell without any money. The first 2 businesses I started failed because I got money. The next 3 were all winners, and I never asked for money, okay? Just be able to bootstrap. The only thing you need for a business is a customer. So just concentrate on that. So don't go to Google and try to find help, because they're just going to tell you how to spend money on them. And you don't have money to spend on them. So you got to spend money on you only, or you'll never find out what works for you, okay? Because it's a trial and error money, okay? You look great. Thanks for helping people. Dude, bro is wearing a game of Twister. Yeah, I guess that's... great. Okay, said hi. Hi, Robert. Okay. Oh, Charity, thank you, Matthew, for helping on that. I can't imagine how hard it is on the YouTube with all the immature people. Yeah, hey, there's a lot of assholes in here. I'm probably one of them in my life at one time or another, too. Thanks, Mr. I've been watching you for a long time. Great. This dude can't even help himself. Well, that's true. We're all struggling. I mean, I don't think I have magic. I just know I have sources, because I've seen them work for other people, and this is how you find them. If you want me to help you, if you don't want me to help you, that's fine. But I've been doing this for 50 years. LeskoHelp.com. It's $20 a month, and right now is our deadline today. For every month, we give out about $50,000 to $70,000 grants to individual members. So you can apply for all of our grants, and we have 4 of them every month. And the deadline today is for home rent or mortgage. Okay, so that's the deadline today. The rent or mortgage. Hype machine. What kind of question is that? To sell their kids on the black market. I don't know. Get a job. Is that me? I have a job. Something everyone can do themselves, ripping people off. And well, Alex, you're so helpful. Thank you for being here, Alex. Can't wait to see you again. God, why do you take your... There's a lot of things you can watch on the internet, and God bless you. But I do have a website. If you're worried about me being a scam, it is go to LeskoScam, LeskoScam.org, LeskoScam.org. Now, I've been doing this for Fortune 500 companies, and every Fortune 500 company takes advantage of this. Every rich person takes advantage of this. I came out yesterday with a listing of 250 programs that people making over $100,000 could apply for. If you want to go back to the video I did yesterday, you could see that. I mean, it's huge. I mean, people don't understand how big this is. It represents 40% of everything in our country is people giving money for free. You hear that? 40% of everything in our country is people giving money away for free. What's the website to open my account? If you paid already, you should get a notice, an email of the link to address that. If you don't get a notice and you have trouble, go to LeskoSupport.com, LESKO support.com. So if somebody write that in the YouTube chat, LeskoSupport.com. Lesko, you know, LeskoSupport.com. No, I mean, I have the better life than I ever thought. And now in the last 5 years or more, what I'm trying to do is just love harder. I can't get smarter, I can't get faster, I can't get stronger. At 83, all that stuff is going downhill. But what I can do is love harder and try to help people harder. And that's what we do at Lesko LeskoHelp.com, LeskoHelp.com. I might fall short of my own. Yes, there's a lot of program, Robert, and you start, if you're not a member of Lesko.com, go to findhelp.org, findhelp.org, and start learning about these programs. Start calling people for help. Don't just look for an application to fill out. You can't do that. You have to call people that are in the business to help people like you, and there'll be hundreds and hundreds of them there where you live. But you have to start calling them and asking for help. They don't come to you. Make me out of the 83 years of being, what is your biggest regret? That I'm not at 84 yet, because it gets so much better every year. People ever honestly answer that question. And it's funny how nobody ever honestly answers that. Regrets are learning. You don't have regrets. I mean, sure, a lot of shit failed. I had 2 businesses that failed, 2 marriages that failed, everything. But yeah, but I'd learn. If I didn't have that fail, I wouldn't learn and grow. That's how you grow. You don't grow for success. Anybody can handle success. It's how you handle failure that's important, because you have to fail if you want to do something new. And if you're not ready to fail, then you're not ready to do stuff. Like riding a bicycle. You know, you expect to get on the bicycle and ride away for 100 miles? No, you're going to fall on your ass a couple times. And it's like that for anything. So let us help you fall on your ass, okay? Because it's going to happen. There's no way around it. LeskoHelp.com. I think we're the only place in America that for $20 you could get so much free help to apply to every grant you're eligible for. Remember, they're giving out $4 trillion, actually closer to 5, every year. And it's going to be more this year than last year, and it's going to be more next year, no matter what Trump does. And that's the polar bear. Are there any grants for home repair? Yes, Dennis, I just showed it to somebody else in Oklahoma. Go here if you need home repair grants. Go to findhelp.org, findhelp.org, O-R-G, okay? And when you do there, you put your zip code there, okay? And after you put in your zip code, it tells you put a keyword and put in home repair. So for a town in Oklahoma, we found 71 programs for home repair. You got the same wherever you live in Minnesota. And then you have to start calling. If you don't call people, you're not going to get anything. Don't look for the magic thing that has your name on it. You don't know. There's that, you know that now you have 70 places that help with home repair. They're the people to talk to find out which is the best one for you. You may have to call 20 or 30 of them before you find out. But you're not going to find an easier or better way to do this. Believe me, been doing this 50 years. and that's what has to be done. And people don't want to do that. That's fine. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm in Charlotte. Same thing in Charlotte. Okay, use us or start by doing findhelp.org. Yeah. You're right, Charity. And that's why Lesko Help. See, what we have here are members who've gotten money like Charity has. So she's a member that helps you one-on-one. And we have all other members are there. That's why I call it a loving community. They're people that help people get the help they need from free money and services that you're paying for from the government and nonprofit organizations. This is not Google. Do not use Google to get help unless you have money, okay? And that's what's very important, okay? For Georgia, same thing, Sarah. Go to the left-hand column on Lesko Help, and you'll see Unlock Your Goals. And click on there what goal you want to go. Starting a business, getting out of debt, buying a house, getting health care paid for. All those things are right there, step by step, how to use this. I miss them too, made a lot of money doing that. But this is more rewarding because I'm able to help more people this way than getting on and doing infomercials and sending you a book that you do nothing with. People don't read, it takes work. So now we have people to help you one-on-one. Hold your hand. It doesn't work, you come back. Here's what to do now. Things like that. That's the only way you're going to get it. And this is the only place in the country that you get help like that. Believe me, I know. I've been studying this for, like I say, 50 some years. And all I want to do between now and the end of my life is help as many people as I possibly can learn about the great benefits this country has to offer. And it does. It's still a great country, and it has stuff there. You have to learn how to use it. It'll not teach you. You have to learn it. Sure, you have enough people lost to cover those. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Paul. Charity, could you get rid of that guy? Okay, guys, I think I've had enough. Thank you. And don't forget tonight, if you remember, we have the deadline is tonight for our $15,000 of rent grants, rent and housing grants, okay? $15,000, midnight tonight. Go to LeskoHelp, be a member. If you're a member, then go to our membership site, and you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a place for all our 4 grants. You could apply every month till you get every one of them. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, keep trying to figure it out. Yeah. Okay, guys, take care. Thank you for sharing your love with people. That's the best thing we all have. And that's the best thing everybody wants from anybody else. So try to help somebody today, please. And that helps yourself, tell you the truth. You'll see how good that feels.